Hey guys, it's Peggy Dean of thepigeonletters.com, where I'm going to provide you always with all the tutorials, freebies, and resources for all things creative. In this video, we're going to be going over monoline lettering and adding texture just using one brush set. So in particular, the reason why I'm featuring this brush set is because primarily for these awesome monoline gritty brushes. Out of all of these brushes, because there are a lot in this set and they're all grainy, these two, the grain filler and grain filler 2, while you can totally use these as regular grain brushes, as you can see, and then the smaller they get, the smaller the grain gets, they also work awesome for monoline lettering without having to apply additional texture to them. So this is going to cut our time in half if you are a grain, a texture user. So for monoline, whoops, I just put on lotion, and I noticed that every time that I do that using the iPad, it might kind of freak out on me. So I apologize if that happens. Okay, so I'm just going to letter the word monoline. I might have done this a little bit too big. You'll also notice that this is a little bit shaky. That's probably because Streamline is turned down. So if you want to turn that up, you can select it. Yeah, Streamline is turned all the way down. So if you want to bump it up, I usually do about 30%. I don't like to do more than that because it kind of takes away from the integrity of the hand lettered effect. And I'm going to do this a lot smaller because I'm running out of room. Okay, so, and I want to make that thicker, just smaller but still thick. Okay, so yeah, look at this texture. It is gorgeous on a monoline. Like, come on, why didn't anyone think of this before? Am I doing it too large again? Yes. What is my problem? That's all right. I will make it work. I don't want to shrink it before I have all the letters, because then the size won't be the same. So I'm just going to add an E and then do everything, and then just move the E over to where it should go. Cheating. All right, there we go. Monoline. Okay, so from here, I'm going to make that a little bit smaller because I'm going to add a drop shadow to it. So from here, I can play with all the texture in the world, but you can see that this already has texture in it, which is so fun. So this means that the additional texture that we add for the depth and whatnot is going to be super different. Instead of being like, in the past I've done letters that have, the grain, but then the grain looks the same across the board. So this is just a fun technique, fun brush set to use. So I'm going to duplicate this layer, and I'm going to change the color of the layer below so that I can differentiate them as I'm working. So I'll go ahead and grab, I'll probably change these colors after the fact, but this is just for right now. I'll change the bottom to a green. You don't see it because it's underneath, but I'm going to duplicate that again. If you've seen my video on monoline lettering, on monogram letters, then you're probably familiar with this way that I do my drop shadows and whatnot, but we're going to go ahead and go over it now as well. So I'm going to select this layer, the middle one, say merge down, so that these two layers, if I turn this off, these ones are connected, which looks like a hot mess, but bear with me. Okay, so basically what I want to do is I want to assume that this is a shadow. So anywhere since I put my shadow on the bottom and to the left, that is where I'm going to create a line to connect those two elements. I might make this smaller so that it doesn't keep going outside, because I want to work with details a little bit more. And then I fill it. So I connect those two. That doesn't need to be filled, but this would. So this connects here, and then I'll fill that area. This connects here. It doesn't need to be filled. While I don't have a connect here, I do know that this this shadow connects to that line, so I'll fill that in. Same thing here. Connect these two. Because this is the line here, this is where the shadow is. I'm not going to worry about this space here. I do want to do this, and then just continue doing that along the way. And you know, if you miss an area or you fill something in that you shouldn't have, it's not the end of the world. You can always adjust it. But just remember that you're looking at the lines that create the letters, and whatever is on the bottom right that is like mirroring, or not mirroring, but you know, shadowing the original letter is what you're going to get rid of. Or excuse me, what you're going to fill in. I was getting rid of that excess line, which is, or you get it. Okay. So filling this stuff in, making sure that there is a nice straight line, because it will represent that hard pull of a shadow. And then this one, whoops, I want to try to keep some of that texture in there. There we go. And then this one, you can see it has this little oopsie, so I'm gonna just, it's not an oopsie, but it's a little bit, it's not as smooth as I want it to be because my brush is giant and not doing what I want it to. So I'm just gonna make it smaller so I have more control over that part. And then I'll go up again. And then keep filling. That's another trick. You can go pretty large with zooming in so that this makes it easier to keep track of. And then I noticed too with the grain brush, I think if I apply pressure, there's not as much grain as, nope, just kidding, I'm lying. It's random. You guys, random is my favorite because it's always unexpected and makes it super fun. But you can also, am I doing that right? Yeah. You can also change it so it's pressure sensitive depending on what you're doing. Okay, so this is my drop shadow. It's not super defined, but I'm going to make it super defined, and to do that, I am going to lock in this, or not lock in. So yes, you could do an alpha lock, which is going to, what that means is you go into a layer, you use two fingers to swipe over to the right. You'll see, I wish that I could zoom in on this part, but you'll see that there are like checkerboard, gray check squares that represent that it's alpha lock, and then anything that you do will only affect that layer. But the problem is that's working destructively and you can't undo a million times like after the fact. So I'm gonna not have alpha lock on. I'm gonna create a new layer on top of the bottom layer because that's the one I'm gonna want to add more grit to and whatnot. And then I'm gonna select it and say clipping mask. So now the same thing's gonna happen, but I'm working non-destructively, so I can basically toggle that on and off, and I still have the integrity of the layer below. So, okay, undone. And now, okay, so now I'm gonna select that same color, but I'm gonna go a little bit darker. And what this is gonna do is allow me to grab a different brush in this set. So I'll go with scatter grain. Yeah, I like that. And then bring it down a bit. I'm actually gonna go with a darker color. And then I'm going to create even more depth, basically using the same rule where it's toward the bottom or toward the right. I think I'll just stick with the bottom right now, so to not make it too confusing for you guys. So basically I'm just gonna lightly add some of this texture to the bottom of each letter, just at the bottom. And then, and I'm not doing a lot, I'm just doing a little bit because I'm going to build on this. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is, you can always go in, I'm going to grab a brush that is pretty clean. Oh, where I have so many brushes in here. I'll use my Monoline brush. By the way, my Monoline brush is free on my website, so be sure to snag that. So yeah, I'm just going to clean up the areas that shadow shouldn't have been. It's not going to be that obvious, but like up here, I'm going to leave it because I actually like that. But you know, if there's an area that it doesn't make sense, you can get rid of it. But now look at that nice shadow. So that's our base. We also want to add this to like underneath where there would be, you know, there would likely be a shadow within here. I'm going to actually make that, there we go. And the thing I like about this brush, this is actually one of the easiest ones. Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you, scatter grain. This is one of the easiest ones that I have used when it comes to building texture. So I don't have to sit there and just build and build and build and build. It does a really good job covering exactly what I want it to, and it's buildable. So for example, like let's say I have this buildable area here. Notice how if I just add more, it just keeps creating depth, which is awesome. That's not always the case for these brushes. I'm going to redo this part because it got a little higher than I wanted it to. There we go. Okay, so then you can see I'm creating this nice depth. Areas like this that you might want to focus on having be a little sharper. See how this corner-ish is connected to this one. I'm just going to drag a hard eraser line down. So see how now it's more separated? That's just going to define it better. I'm not going to do it to that one though. Actually, yeah, I am. So yeah, that's just going to define it better. It just makes it show up in those detailed areas versus being just like a big swamp. It's totally just those tiny details that are not important, but why not? Okay, so now I'm going to create another layer on top of that one, and then I'm going to select the layer and say clipping mask again. What this is going to do, because the bottom, the underneath layer is also a clipping mask, is it's going to clip to the layer that is not a clipping mask. So it's going to skip over this one and go directly to the one that I'm already on. That's what I want. So now I'm going to go even darker, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm not going to do it as much. So I'm just going to basically just very lightly tap. So you can see like this is taking very little effort on my part. I'm not doing hardly anything at all to create a little extra depth. And that's because I want to see the effect of the other one more. So it's basically kind of like a blend, if you will. You can also make your brush smaller, or you can stay toward like the base, so that like for example, this is coming down this far. I could stay toward the center more so that there's a gradual change in there. So things to think about here. But see, now that looks even more intense, which is awesome. I'm going to go here again and get rid of that part. So now that part is even more defined. And then I feel like this is, I guess it's not too far down. I just feel like it is. I'm going to try something real quick. I'm going to go to my eraser and I'm just going to see if that would look okay. Whoops, like this. I just like that better. It's more separated. I know it looks weird from like close up, but from afar it makes more sense to me. And then I want to also add, whoops, go back to that first brush. So the nice thing is, as you are working on the base layer, you'll notice that, see how I worked on the base layer, I just added, you know, more definition here, but because I was working on a clipping mask and that brush was already reaching there, I didn't have to add any more details because I was just affecting. So for example, I can come in here, you can see the brush or the texture is filling that space, which is pretty cool. Just makes it easier. And then here, I've noticed, since I don't want it to look too alike, there is a gap here and a gap here. I'm going to fill that gap on the bottom part so it doesn't look identical, so that the grain looks more unique. That's the only part that really stood out to me. Gosh, what is it with this one that's throwing me off? Okay. Okay, so from here, you can play with color. So like, for instance, I don't love this brownish ochre after all, and I thought I might. So I'm going to go to my Monoline. I'm going to select this little ribbon, and oh no, just kidding. I'm going to select the magic wand tool for adjustments, go to Recolor. Thing I like about Recolor is that you can recolor in live time. So I have it, this little, I guess you can't see it get larger, but this plus sign, if you will, select tool, and then I can change this in live time and see how I like it with that green background and see what looks the best to me. Maybe play with my palette a little bit. This could be cool depending on the background color that I do. So if I wanted to choose like a super light color and then I change the background, I don't love changing the actual background color. I like to do it on a new layer. So I'm going to select a new layer, drag it below so it's the bottom layer, and then here I can do the same thing. So I'm just going to drag a color, go to the Recolor tool, get it where I want it, and then I can play with background colors and see what I think is more fun with this color combo. And I super recommend playing around with color combos because they can be a lot of fun. Okay, so I like that. Now I'm going to create a new layer on top of this one. And since this is a background, I'm not too worried about, or I don't need to do a clipping mask or anything. So I can just go in and select a new brush. Oh, let's see, what do I want to do? Okay, so the speckly ones are really fun, like speckly or sparse or bobbly, because they create, that one's gonna blend in too much. They create this just kind of like a random grit instead of being, you know, full coverage where like perfect grain, it's awesome, but it's gonna create more of a even coverage. Medium grain, it's awesome for fill and stuff like that. But yeah, so it really just depends on what you want to do. Like scatter dense, let me show you. If I select this color, I'm going to do another layer. Whoops, I did all that on that original layer. Oh well, I'm going to cover it up now. But you'll get the idea. And then I'm going to select, so I have that color selected. I'm going to go either lighter or darker, make that brush nice and big. But look, so this is, I'm going to make it lighter so you can see it better. This is very minimal, but when it's done, you can see that it adds all that grit to that background without having to really do anything. So if you zoom in, you see all this awesome grit. You can also play with recoloring just the grit itself. So see how just like the difference in tone, you might want to go darker or lighter or something like that, but whoops. That is how that looks. And then now I can add the bobbly, and I'll do this color. So see how it just kind of adds interest and it makes it so fun. So this is basically what I want to show you for the Monoline. Really, really easy. You can do this with any word or any letter or even illustration, etc. Obviously you can add even more detail, but this is just kind of like your real rough way to add texture to have a piece that really pops. So hope that's helpful. I have tons of tutorials that I always throw at you. Make sure to turn your notifications on so you see the next ones. Be sure to check out my other Procreate tutorials and of course my blog, which every single Thursday I release new tutorials there from guest artists and myself. So it's thepigeonletters.com, and I will see you next time.